hopefully you're all just getting settled in for your Friday night. Karen is here. Good evening. Fran is here over on YouTube. Good evening to you. Thanks for thanks for offering some unique support as I did some crazy driving over the week. So appreciate you being there and reaching out there, Fran. Thank you very much. Out of the gate, Newfoundland checks in. Roxanne says we are now officially international. Cheryl's here. Leah's here. Let's see what I missed. Tammy is over on YouTube tonight. I can't keep up with you, Tammy. You know, you start on Facebook, then you go to Instagram, then you settle in on YouTube. Wherever you want to be is fine. You know, that's whatever's convenient for you. Let's make sure we get that. Very fun. Work is checking in here. It's always great when my office checks in. That's pretty cool. Kim, good evening to you. Let's see. New York, Keith and Alice are checking in. Angie's here. I missed a couple. Elise from Wheaton, good evening to you. Cheryl's here. I got Wendy. Let's see who else. All kinds of fun. Susan checking in from California. Susan, at some point we need to get you back over to Hawaii. It was way more fun when you were in Hawaii. So again, we'll pay for all that. Just let me know when you're ready to move, and we will Bitcoin you over enough money to get you virtually moved over to Hawaii. Lee's checking in. I think I said that earlier. Angie's here. Lori says, "Yeah, you're here." Yes, I've been here the whole time. I just haven't pressed the little button that says go live. So, Cleveland, Marcia's in the house. Good evening to you. Vero Beach, Terry is checking in. Good evening to you. Let's see. Heather says, "Good. Looking forward to this." Me too. I tell you, I'll explain a couple things in a little bit. This will be, I don't want to spend all night here, but I think it's probably warranted. I owe you guys, or I don't owe you, but I want to explain a couple things, some history to you. But so this may be a longer intro, and then we'll get into episode 202 in a little bit. Karen checking in from Ohio. Pamela's checking in from Colorado Springs. Kaylin is here. Woo, and you're home. Yay. I saw you texted me twice earlier this evening. Admittedly, I haven't read the text messages, so I was in the middle of doing show prep when your text messages came in, Kaylin. But I will get to them after the show. I did see that you went ziplining across Niagara Falls. Let me just tell you, thank you very much for not inviting me. Ziplining and I, not friends. Nope. Lots of things and I are friends. Ziplining and I are not friends. I don't use the word hate a lot, but maybe, no, Facebook is up. Instagram's asking, Facebook's working. We got about 60 some people over there right now. So yeah, Facebook's working just fine. It's on the WhysAdvice Facebook page. So go to facebook.com/WhysAdvice and you'll find it. But anyway, back to ziplining and I, no. I'm afraid of heights. I don't know if we've ever shared that. Heights and I don't get along. When we were in Toronto, we went to the top of the CN Tower, and both my daughter and I, neither one of us were extremely brave. We couldn't get close enough to the ledge to look out the glass, really. So it was kind of crazy. My wife, she's amazing. She goes up and jumps up and down on there's like a glass floor where I don't know how many stories above the air. The floor is glass. You can look down. You can see all the cars underneath us. She's jumping up and down. My daughter and I are standing off to the side, holding onto each other in complete fear that it was the last time we were going to see her. But it all worked out. Very cool. Missouri, Wendy's checking in. Good evening to you. I think I got you earlier when you checked in, but I can't wait for you and Travis to come on out here. I know we had some brief email traffic on that. Looks like you'll be joining us out here in November. So very, very, very excited for that opportunity. Brenda, good evening from Wisconsin, Huntington Beach, California. Karen's checking in. Bloomington, Patricia's here. Soki says, good evening, Mike. Diane from New York. Yes, crazy Diane from New York. Good evening to you. And it's only crazy Diane because she gave herself the name. I would never, ever call her crazy without her telling me that she was. So I'm using the term that she gave herself, not the one that I gave her, right? So good evening, Diane. Rebecca from Oklahoma, Port Washington, Wisconsin. Good evening. Portland just got home from Zumba. Joyce is here. Hey, Heather's here. Woohoo! Heather keeps me sane most of the time, so thank you, Heather, for being here. So Ashri says, I live in Ottawa, Canada, 6 hours from Toronto. I was sorry to miss you there. So let me tell you, you missed a lot. Toronto was absolutely incredible. I'd never been to Toronto before. It's the first time I've been there. Kudos to the city of Toronto. What an amazing place. If you have not been to Toronto, I assure you it has got to be on your bucket list of places to visit. It was an absolutely fabulous city. It was very, very, very cool to hang out there. I wish we had more time to spend there, but it certainly is for us. It's one of those must visit again in June or July is probably where about where my limit is. Beautiful city. I would love to go back in June or July. I'm not going up in the winter because for me I have to drive up through Detroit, and Detroit in winter and I don't exactly we don't get along. Lisa Lynn is here. Very, very cool. Let's see. Jen says, so excited for this tonight. Needed to get some focus back. Oregon says hello. Well, hello, all of Oregon. I can't believe the whole state tuned in. That's pretty cool. Karen says hi to Lee. Very fun. Northern Alabama. How do you pronounce that? Is it Franzi? I'm sorry if I butchered it. Hardest part for me is trying to pronounce names. So if I butcher it, I sincere apologies. Kim says, yes, you do owe us. So Kim, you'll love the very first email then. Stick around for that. You will love the opening email. If you saw it on Twitter, the opening email basically says, "Dear Fat Dag, you're not all that." I can't wait to get into that email. It was actually pretty cool. So Sue is here. Lee is awesome. Lee is killing it. Marcella is here. Good evening to you. Charlotte's here. Woohoo! Arkansas. Charlotte checking in. We had a great time out in Tulsa. Charlotte drove down from Arkansas down to Tulsa for the 5K we did there. Charlotte, you're awesome. Yeah, Lisa says, how is everyone? Haven't been here in a while. You haven't been here in a while because I haven't been here in a while. It's just absolutely crazy. Mandy's here. Mandy and Mike, good evening to you. Hopefully Mike's tuned in too, right? That's very, very cool. Aubrey's from Texas here, says maybe not the whole state's checked in, but so Aubrey, can you work on that? All of Oregon is here, so it's really fitting that all of Texas joined us as well. Please, maybe the next time, maybe I'll give you a little more notice and you can just ping the whole state and remind them all to come out here. So Andrea, yes, you're right. So I did catapult myself up in the air, but not. So the catapult up in the air thing was a one-time. I don't even really believe that I did it either. So, and Elise, you and I agree. I don't trust the companies to maintain the equipment properly. Exactly. Yeah. Drew says, when will you be in Ohio? Tomorrow, I think, is what my daughter wants me to say. I think we're supposed to go to an amusement park tomorrow, but I don't think we're going. I don't really know. Outside of that, no real plans to go to Ohio. So if my daughter can convince me to go to Ohio tomorrow, then I'll be in Ohio tomorrow. I'm holding out though. I'm holding out and saying no Ohio. Paulette checking in from New Braunfels, Texas. Very cool, beautiful. What's the name of it there? Awesome water park in New Braunfels for sure. I used to live in Cibolo, Texas, Paulette. So you know where Cibolo is if you live in New Braunfels. Not far away, not far at all. Marcia says Cleveland's in the house. Yeah, so I don't mind the Tower of Terror. That doesn't bother me because it's like, I think it's like metal structures are different than wire, cable, ziplining things. Kelly checking in from Sarasota. Lindsay is here from Noblesville. Good evening to you. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, checking in. Brenda. Kim is here from Houston. Rockford, Illinois. Debbie is here. Good evening to you. I think, Debbie, you missed the show a couple of days ago. Debbie sent me the Focus shirt, and so I had that on the other night. And so I don't know if you saw that episode or not, Debbie, but thank you for that for sure. Dina's here with your hubby, son, and daughter-in-law. We are playing euchre and watching euchre. It's been so long since I played euchre. Isn't that the thing with like twos, right? Is two powerful in euchre? I can't remember. I used to play spades quite a bit. Pamela says, rough week. Dad's in ICU. I really need some focus. So Pamela, certainly that's obviously devastating news. So here's the good news. The good news is he's right where he needs to be at the moment. The continued good news is what your focus now needs to be is on taking care of him, giving him the care he needs, being mindful to your own self-care as a secondary, but really you're in that mindset, in that mode where you just do your best. And you just focus your way through it. You concentrate on the priority now is taking care of him. That's the priority. It really is. Once things settle into a new routine, then you readjust. That's all we can do on this journey. Gail's here. Good evening. Joanne is here. She said, I just finished watching the Yankees Red Sox game on TV. Go Yankees. So folks, that's the end of the show. Truly, if anyone comes in here and says goes Yankees, we just shut everything down at that point, and I guess we'll do a show tomorrow night. So you can thank Joanne for that. Because that's just how it's going to go. So I'm kidding. Diane's here. Good evening. Let's see. Gail is here. Bloomington. Janice is here. Elise said she believed. Yeah. So let me two things. Amy, yes, this is a Weight Watchers related show. I'm a Weight Watchers leader. This show is my own opinion. It has nothing to do with Weight Watchers opinions, but in a couple seconds, we'll actually get into the actual live recording of the podcast. Hopefully we'll get into that in the next 5 to 10 minutes. And once we get into the live recording of the podcast, you will hear stories of people who are actually following the plan, doing amazing work, having amazing success. That's what the entire show is about. You can go to the App Store, get the app WhysAdvice, WHYS Advice. It's a free app. There's 201 podcast episodes, all Weight Watchers related, not endorsed, but related. So I guess there's maybe a slight endorsement because they did publish it in the Weight Watchers magazine saying it was their favorite podcast. So we're maybe endorsed. But again, opinions are my own, right? That's the legal disclaimer. All right, Lee got you. Lee walked 4 miles. I'm going to skip ahead for a little bit. Shauna says 42 pounds down today. Yay. Woohoo. Kansas checks in, made lifetime this week, still looking for motivation and focusing on non-scale victories. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so looks like I skipped a bunch of you, so I apologize to that, but that's just kind of, we got to get to the show at some point, right? So let me give you just a quick little glimpse of, we went up to Toronto. I told you that earlier. Went up, part of the international tour is we're hitting 8 cities this year, running a 5K in each one, or walking depending on the circumstances. So we started off in April and we did Ocean Springs, Biloxi, Mississippi. We did Tulsa in May. June, we did Toronto. Denver coming up July 21st. We're going to be out in Denver, Philadelphia on August 18th. Then here in Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., and then San Francisco in November. So, but anyway, so we did Toronto in July 21st. So that was last weekend. Last weekend, we went to Toronto, drove up there on Friday. It's an 8-hour drive. Drove up on Friday, spent the whole day there Saturday doing the 5K, hanging out with folks. All day Sunday, drove home. Came back to work on Monday. Monday night, we had dinner with doing some event planning. So we had dinner with some friends Monday night. Tuesday, I had my Weight Watchers meeting. Tuesday night, I drove to Lansing, Michigan. Then Wednesday, I spent all day in Lansing, Michigan, drove home Wednesday night. Thursday, had my Weight Watchers meeting, and then Friday, boom, here. So that's why we haven't had a show this week, as I haven't been home but more than 5 hours since Thursday. So, crazy. So, all fun, all good stuff, but boy, it really just adds to the social calendar. But anyway, are you ready? Let's get it done. Tanny says you live in. So I was in Lansing on Wednesday and why didn't you stop in on Tuesday and Wednesday? No, truly, I was in Lansing for less than 24 hours, really. But just drove up, did some interviews, and drove back. And Heather says, happy that you're here now. So, yeah, same way. I'm happy that I'm here now. That's what matters. But we're good. Let's get episode 202 in the books, shall we? Let me go fire up the computer. Get your water ready. For those of you who are new, you know how this works. We start the show off with a little bit of water, always. Mic check, testing, 1, 2. Beautiful. I love it when the technology just works. The technology is just supposed to work, and that's kind of what I'm just hoping that it just works. All right, so for those of you who are brand new, I may have missed a couple of you. I don't know if anyone was super duper duper new. Yes, Donna, the YouTube shot is backwards because I don't believe YouTube allows me to flip the video. If someone knows how to do that, let me know. I could turn the camera around, but then I can't see it. But yes, YouTube is backwards. Instagram also is backwards. Facebook has the right, correct orientation. So anyway, for those of you who are new, we start the show off with a water drink. So cheers. Let's get this. Ready? Cheers. And I tell you, there is nothing better than ice cold water or refrigerator cold water. Nothing better. Nothing better at all. So, all right, episode 202 coming to you live right now. Let's do this. Sabina, that's not vodka. Lee, are you guys together? Lee said that to me one night as well. Lee said, are you having vodka? So I tell you, this will be a shameless plug, right? If it was vodka, it would be Fuzzy's vodka. I promise you that. Fuzzy's is an amazing supporter of all the stuff we do here. So Lee, so you got me laughing again. Lee, I don't know what I'm going to do with you, mister. I tell you, here's the coolest thing, guys. I tell you, honestly, this part is my favorite part, the interaction part where we just kind of laugh together and hang out together. It's really, really, really kind of fun. It's why I enjoy when, I made a commitment to get out to 8 different cities this year. I pay for that because I enjoy doing that. The patrons who support the show help pay for that. Those who end up buying the shirts, the only reason I sell those is to help cover the cost to get to 8 cities, but my favorite part about being there is getting to hang out with you and laughing with you and spending a day where we just no agenda. We just laugh together. And it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of fun. So Lee, you're on my list of people that I can't wait to meet. Not that the rest of you aren't, but Lee is clearly on it. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's do. I got this down. Yep, microphone. Everything's still recording. Here we go. Episode 202. Coming up. Dun, 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 dun. Patricia said, if you drank that much vodka, you wouldn't be able to talk. That's true. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 202 of Wise Advice. And it seemed like maybe just a couple days ago, we were on episode 1, recording in my car, climbing up the charts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Truly honored to walk this journey with you, like I said in the opening. I tell you, I talked briefly on the last episode about our trip to Toronto, but let me just tell you again how amazing the opportunity was there to hang out with those of you. Some of you drove for a little bit. Some of you flew in across the border with me, and the opportunity to spend the day with you was just absolutely incredible. It's the best part of this journey for me is that, as I tell you without a doubt, no question in my mind, the pivotal turning point in my journey, the piece where I finally said, okay, I can do this. It came when I met other people who were doing this and having success. That is the piece when I'd lost weight before, I'd gotten in shape before. I never, ever had a conversation that truly revolved around the emotional aspect of weight loss until I took a trip up to Boston a year and a half or so ago and hung out with some amazing Weight Watcher folks who all of us just we understood each other. We didn't have to say a word. We just kind of knew by looking into each other's eyes. We understood the pain. We understood the struggle. We understood the challenges. We understood each other. Now, I say this all the time. I have the most amazing wife in the world. There's no question about it. Absolutely, hands down, the most supportive spouse in the entire planet. I could not be more appreciative of her. I share that openly with you. Now, I shared a little story the other night. Is the other day I had a strength training appointment early in the morning, and the night before, I told you my schedule was kind of crazy. The night before, I went up to bed. As soon as I got into bed, instantly my eyes closed and out I was, and she knew that I had an appointment in the morning. And so rather than waking me, all she simply did was set her own alarm so that she could get up before me and wake me up to let me know that I had time to go to a strength training appointment. It was actually kind of interesting in the fact that I woke up first. Just naturally, I woke up and I heard her alarm go off, and I asked her, I said, "Why did you do that?" And she said, "Well, I didn't want to wake you, and I didn't want you to miss it either." And so, again, have the most amazing, most supportive spouse on the planet. However, she has no idea what it's like to lose weight. She's been a beautiful height and weight her entire life. She's amazingly fit. She never has had the weight struggle. So when I finally met people who understood me in that realm, it completely changed my life. It completely changed my journey. So the whole reason I do the international tour is to get to other cities, to bring a group of people together. It's not truly about me, but it's truly about us getting together on a different playing field where we could say, you know what, let's talk with each other. Let's share our struggles. Let's share our challenges. Let's share our success. And together, as when I leave, I want you guys to connect with each other and then build your own supportive community and find people who get you the way we get you. And that's what brings it together. So the next up is July 21st. We'll be out in Denver, Colorado. August 18th, we'll be out in Philadelphia. And then we're back here in Indianapolis on September 8th. Hopefully you can join us for one of those three. If not, we'll in October, Washington, D.C., and then we'll end the tour in 2018 out in San Francisco. So hopefully you can visit one of those. Go to fatdag.com, click on the event tab, sign up through there initially to get notified of what the details are. You certainly can be there. So I want to open the show with this email. It's actually one of my favorite emails. Sue from Ohio writes in, and she says, "Hey, dear Mike, I had written to you last November celebrating the loss of 40 pounds. I told you that in my mind, I was already at goal, and I was just waiting for my body to catch up. Well, I couldn't wait for the time when I could write to you again and tell you that I'd actually reached goal on the scale, and I could celebrate with you. I did it. I lost 60-some pounds, and I reached lifetime. That was in February. And I'm just writing to you now? Well, no worries. I'm actually 15 pounds below my goal now for a total of 75 pounds lost. The weird thing is, and please don't be offended, when I reached lifetime, I didn't need your validation. I was proud of myself. I didn't feel the need to come running to you so you could say, "Atta girl." Now, I know this may sound strange to some, as I still adore you, I still listen to every podcast, and I will forever be grateful for all the encouragement you gave me. So many walks on the treadmill or in the park, and you were in my head, believing in me way before I could believe in myself. Obviously, you know how important that is to have someone believe in you. As I got close to the finish line, I finally, 100% yes, 100% believed in myself. And that's where I am now, believing in myself and trying to help others by telling them that I believe in them way before they believe in themselves. It's like the baby bird in the nest. You fed me, protected me, educated me until finally I have flown the nest. You see, I don't need you anymore. You've done so well in getting me to this point, you've worked yourself out of a job. And I'm guessing that in your mind, that's what it's all about. And I can never thank you enough. Mike, you have an incredible gift of encouragement, and you are using it in such a great way. Again, thank you, Sue from Ohio. Sue, absolutely 100% without a doubt, congratulations. And I'm only saying that because I want other people to hear how proud of you I am. I know you don't need it. And I think what the coolest thing is, I truly, truly love your email. Not at all was I offended. In fact, when you sent the email in, I got it a couple of weeks ago or so when it actually came into my inbox. I remember reading it and smiling instantly because it's exactly what I'm working towards. And I said this way earlier on a previous episode, I'm just a tool, right? This podcast is just one tool in your toolbox to get things done. I want you to get to the point where you believe in yourself so well that you don't have to write in. You don't need that affirmation from me because you have it internally. I cannot, no way in the world can I replicate the feeling of you being proud of yourself. So that is why this email absolutely warmed my heart. Now, I'm glad you wrote in because other people need to truly understand that this feeling does exist. And that's the beauty of your email now is you've now demonstrated that there is this greater feeling, there is this greater belief of when you finally get it done, it feels incredibly different. I appreciate the follow-up and congratulations again. Again, like I said, I'm not at all offended. I'm completely honored to know that your 75-pound weight loss got you to lifetime. What an amazing accomplishment. And so it's incredibly powerful as we start to believe in ourselves. And I truly, truly, I believe every single person out there has the ability to do this. There are so many tools out there that you have to find the ones that work for you. This is one of them. It's just one tool, but there are so many out there. But the true goal is that when you can diversify your tool set so deep that it takes a bunch of different tools so that if for some chance one of them went away, it doesn't derail your efforts. It doesn't change your journey. It just refocuses you slightly. And the belief in yourself is what makes this happen. Sue, I am incredibly, incredibly proud of you. I'm so glad to hear that you don't need me anymore, but I'm glad to hear that you're continued to tune in. And so the appreciation and thanks all, makes my heart incredibly warm. So keep up the amazing work. Continue to do exactly what you're doing. I think this is the coolest part of your email is that now you understand exactly how important it is, and that's where you are now is you're believing in other people, telling them that you believe in them because everyone needs to know that someone else believes in them. That's the powerful part of this is that I believe in you. I believed in you to a point where you weren't there yet, and then it continued to get you there. As you reach back, as you help other people believe in themselves, we completely change the world. Sue, congratulations. Thank you so much for your email. And atta girl, right? Next email comes up from Stephanie. Stephanie writes in out of Colorado. She says, hi, Fat Dad. Hey, I owe you an apology. I've listened to all of your podcasts, and I started over from the beginning, and I'm listening again. You're right, you do hear different things the second time around. I wrote to you in episode 160, whining about the new freestyle plan. You gave me some good insight, although at the time I was being rebellious and I didn't want to hear it. What I thought I heard you say to another Weight Watcher in a later episode who was also concerned that he was gaining weight with freestyle program was not to quit. You told him to do what he had to do, but no matter what, do not quit. Well, how I took that was if smart points got me on the right path, keep doing that, just don't quit. So that's what I did. I kept doing smart points. After all, you said it was okay. In another repeat episode, you were telling us how someone repeated what you had said, but you don't recall saying it that way. That's when reality gently settled in my lap. You see, I met my goal weight and I became a lifetime member in late November 2017. Freestyle started shortly thereafter, and I was all discombobulated. I panicked and I downloaded another Weight Watcher friendly free app to my phone, and that made things even more confusing. I faked my monthly weigh-ins while I was faking freestyle, and I kept within my goal until last month. That's when I told myself that I needed to really get real with the Weight Watcher bandwagon, so I'm finding myself at square one with the learning of the program. I should have been doing this from the beginning. I kept going to meetings. I love them, but I'm not sure I completely understand what it is that I'm supposed to do. I get 23 points a day. I can't get out of that mindset that I have to eat all of my points. I can, but I don't have to. So I guess my biggest question is this. If I don't eat any 0-point foods in a day, should I try not to eat more than 23 points? Or is that too many without the 0-point foods? Or is it not enough? I'm mostly speaking of the protein, I guess. I like fruit and I like veggies, but the protein is what's throwing me off. I'm a red meat kind of gal. I'm 6 pounds above my goal weight, and I'm starting to get nervous. I've been freeballing freestyle for far too long, and I'm failing. Looking for guidance. Stephanie, let's start with the obvious. You are not failing. If you continue to write in, continue to check in, continue to stay tuned in, it's impossible to fail at that point. So let's get that part out of the way first. And let's go all the way back to the beginning. Thank you for going back through, every once in a while. Of course, we do the show every single day, except for the days that we don't. And so the days that we don't, I give you the opportunity to go back and re-listen, because as your journey develops, your brain changes. You start seeing things differently. You hear things differently. The best analogy I can give you is somewhere along the lines of, there are psychics out there. Some of them who are legitimate, sure, and some of them who aren't, sure. Who knows? But a psychic will say something to you along the lines of, I see water is going to be very important in your future. And so what you do is you hear that, you walk outside and it's raining, and you say, ha, the psychic was right. Someone else may all of a sudden, walk to a water fountain and they go, ha, the psychic was right. Someone else may drive by and all of a sudden they buy a swimming pool store. They go, ha, the psychic was right. Because all they said was water, and your brain filled in the details. That's what happens as we're along this journey. Everyone contributing to this brings a different perspective, and depending on where you are when you hear it, whether you're just starting out, whether you're at lifetime, whether you're restarting, whether you're a lifetime trying to get back to goal, wherever you are in your journey, your brain is ready to hear something differently. It happens to me all the time. I get so many tweets, I get so many tags on Instagram, and so many posts and connects, and people say, Mike, you said this, and I truly in my head go, no, I never said that, or at least not meant it in that way. And so we certainly can't cover all bases. So as you continue to go back through the older episodes, you may hear and pick up something different that reframes your journey, that you're now in a time space where you can hear it differently. So continue to tune in by all that, absolutely for sure. But what I want you to know is that thank you for re-attacking what was important to you. What was important to you is that you maintained your weight, that you got to lifetime, that you got to goal, that you completely changed your life. That became your priority. The how truly doesn't matter. I said this earlier in the opening of the show. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transform myself. And what I mean by that is I don't believe that freestyle is the answer. I don't believe that Smart Points is the answer. I don't believe that Nutrisystem is the answer. I don't believe that Jenny Craig, paleo, keto, I don't believe any of those are the answer. They are an answer, right? They are an answer for somebody who needs that at that particular moment in time. So the answer is, why are you doing this? What is driving you every single morning to wake up and want to try something different to get results that you haven't gotten before? That's what's important. So as you now relearn a new how, which is the new how is freestyle, as you make the adjustment, stay focused on why you're doing this. That's very important. But as you now continue to make that shift, now we do need to offer some details to you as to how to work the plan that you have determined is going to be your how in this journey of why. So obviously downloading a separate app, trying to follow two roadmaps along the way certainly is not the ideal scenario for you. I've made that analogy more than once. You've got two different maps, and you're following the GPS, and then you also have a roadmap, and then someone else is giving you directions on the phone. At some point, you have to pick a plan, follow it, and let it work for you. So continue to, getting all discombobulated by trying a different plan. No doubt it absolutely is confusing because you're trying to blend programs, and that's not really what it takes. You recognize that, and you dug deep, and you said it's time to get on the real Weight Watchers bandwagon. So starting over at square one for many of us is what exactly says, okay, let me reignite that fire. Let me stay focused on, why am I doing this? And when you do that, then again, failing is not an option because you're now saying, I can do this. Now, when we talk in specifics about your journey, obviously, I'm going to give you my standard disclaimer, right? Clearly, I'm a Weight Watchers leader. I lead 2 meetings a week in Indianapolis, one in Carmel, one in Plainfield. But the advice I'm going to give you here is my own opinion, regardless of the program. And so what I want you to do is I want you to assess where you are daily. Use the points as a guide. Continue to add the 0-point foods to your plan. Let the scale determine your success. And what I mean by that is if you get 23 points a day, and one day you wake up and you have a 0-point breakfast and a great lunch that's 2 points, and you have a super awesome dinner that's 3 to 5 points, and you find yourself with 10 to 15 points left over, but you're not hungry. That's the signal we want you to tune into. If you're not hungry, then I don't necessarily want you going to eat just because the program says you have 23 points. But on the flip side of that is I don't want you starving yourself because you're trying to eat so few points that you think that you can speed up the weight loss by not eating enough points. You have to determine if the quality of the food, if the nutritional value of the food that you're getting with 10 to 15 points a day is truly sustainable, then stick with that, right? And because you've added enough 0-point foods in, that you don't have to make that concern, but it also gives you that freedom and that flexibility to never have to say this is off limits. It's to never have to say I'm deprived of anything. And so I just really want you to just kind of experiment. And what you do is, the reason we have you come in once a week and weigh in is you work the plan for a week. You come in and weigh in. If you like the results, keep doing what you're doing. If you follow the plan your way for a week and all of a sudden you come in and you don't like the results on the scale, well, then you have to assess what happened during the week, figure out where you can make some modifications, attempt it for another week, hop in, weigh on the scale. If you like the results, continue to do that. So what you've got now is you're in that process of you're now back to overthinking it. And I'm proud of you for wanting to overthink it. That's incredible focus. But what I want you to do is just let your conscience be your guide, right? Let the scale be your guide. Let your hunger signals and your hunger cues be the guide. Let your app be the guide. Use all of the tools around you to find the success that you know you're capable of. You're 6 pounds away from your goal weight. That is incredible. You don't say in your email where you started, but my guess is that where you started was not 6 pounds from your goal weight. So you clearly know you can do this. Stephanie, you have what it takes. You can do this. continue to stay tuned into the Wingman group, continue to stay focused with us. We'll carry you to goal, and then you again can also reach back and help the other wingman get to exactly where you are as well. Stephanie, thanks for your email. Next up, Kim. Kim writes in and says, well, hi, Mike. I was a weather observer in the Air Force from 1988 to 1993, and I also struggled with my weight while in the Air Force. In basic training, even though I was within the standards to get in, I was always pushing my max weight. I was on the Fat Boy program, and I was one of the road guards during basic training. I finally got the weight off, and I met my husband on a tour in Germany. We got out in 1993 and moved back to Texas. I became an avid runner, rollerblader, until a running injury in 2007 sidelined me. Well, depression set in, and ultimately so did weight gain. I'm 5'2", and I got up to 190 pounds at my heaviest. That's a lot of extra weight on my small frame. I finally got down to 170 pounds, and then in 2016, I got on a program at work and I lost 30 pounds. I was pumped. Then my husband's cancer, diagnosed in 2004 with multiple myeloma, came back with a vengeance, and I gained my weight back while dealing with the emotions I went through until my husband's death in August of 2017. I finally decided to get my act together, and a couple of weeks ago, my coworker mentioned Weight Watchers, so I decided to give it a try, never having done it before. I signed up online only for now, and we get a discount for signing up through work. I'm only a week into it, but I've lost 3 pounds, and I'm happy for that 3 pounds. I discovered your podcast while searching online for Weight Watchers hints and tips. I started at the beginning, and I'm on episode 37 right now. I found it interesting that some of your words of wisdom I'm already following. One being that I didn't set a concrete goal weight. I decided to lose until I feel good. The second thing is setting an attendance goal rather than working out. If I don't do my daily walk, then I make sure I go to the gym. That's all I demand out of myself. No performance goals, just show up. After all that, I wanted to say that I'm writing to tell you that I'm enjoying your podcast and I'm inspired by your words. Thank you for all that you do. I found you on Facebook and YouTube in addition to downloading the app from my iPhone. Many, many thanks again, Kim. Kim, thank you for your service to our nation. Thank you. Thank your late husband as well for his incredible service to our nation. How cool is it that the two of you got to meet up in Germany and share the amazing life that you shared together? My heart breaks for you. Incredibly, deeply sorry for your loss, but I'm honored and glad to see that as you now have now found your new routine, and as you now to rebuild your life, that now taking care of you becomes the priority. And what an amazing way to honor his legacy is to then say, you know what, I'm doing this for me, and I'm going to take care of myself, and very, very proud of you for that. So again, thank you both for your service to our nation. Incredible patriots that do that. So let's go all the way back to the beginning of your email where you talked about joining the Air Force at the height of your standards, right? And so think about that. I remember that vividly. The road guards, for those of you who aren't military, so when the Air Force, when we go through basic training, we march everywhere across the base. We hop in formation and we march in a formation all over the base. As we do that, we come to many intersections where cars are passing. And so what the Air Force does, not always, but generally speaking, what the Air Force does is they take the people in the flight who probably need a little extra PT, they need a little extra motivation to move, and they let them become what they call the road guards. Road guards out is the term we use. All of a sudden, the road guards go running. They stop the traffic. The entire flight marches by, and then they run to get back to the very front of the pack. Think about marching down a street, and every single intersection, someone has to run the entire length of the flight. That extra PT, generally speaking, is how those of us who carry a little extra weight through basic training end up losing quite a bit of it. So it's a painful memory for sure. It's certainly not fun. But as you wrote it, I couldn't help but thinking, yeah, I actually Remember that. And so thank you for bringing that memory back to the front of my mind here. So let's go with the major accomplishment here. 3 pounds lost your first week. Think about that for just 1 second. I am incredibly proud of that number, and here's why. This plan, we know without a doubt the plan works. We know without a doubt every plan works. Every single plan works if you understand why you're doing it. If you understand why you're doing it, you can follow up with the how. The how at this point is you figured out how to do this, focused on your why, and you have a 3 pound weight loss your first week. What you have proven is that you can do this. Sometimes we get wrapped up in these big monster numbers of, we must have, a 50-pound weight loss before we can be a success. We must have to have a 100-pound weight loss before we can be a success. If you have lost a single pound deliberately put in the effort, put in the focus, and you have lost a single pound doing that, in your case 3, then what you have proven to yourself is you can do this. Think about that. You took deliberate steps. You said, I want to do something. You did it. You had the scale validate that the actions that you took had measurable results in the direction that you were looking for. So if you hop on the scale and you're down a half a pound, you're down a pound, you need to celebrate that. You took the actions, you took the effort, you made it happen, and that's what's making this work. So Kim, congratulations on a 3-pound weight loss. I'm incredibly proud of you. You are clearly headed in the right direction. If you keep up your attendance goals and you keep up just kind of, just saying, I can do this, then you absolutely can do this. Setting your attendance goals, working out, just making sure every single day that you just show up. That is the most important part of this. There's going to come a point, and you said earlier in your email that you were an avid runner, rollerblader, and then an injury sidelined you. At some point, what you could have done, and you know this, right? What you could have done is you could have found something else in the attendance category. But what happens is when we get so set on focus on performance and we become elite runners and avid rollerbladers, when something happens, we don't have the ability or very rarely do we want to say, let me shift and try something different in the attendance lane. I was such an amazing runner that I wouldn't dare hop in the pool because I'm not good at that. But if you just made a quick shift and set the goal of just trying to do something, and the goal is actually showing up, then as an injury sidelines you temporarily, there is something else you can do to fill the attendance void that's missing. Performance is important. There is a point in your journey where you're going to need to ramp up and work on performance, but also knowing that performance always happens after we check off the attendance block. So continue to work on your attendance. You're absolutely getting it in. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just continue to show up and say, you can do this. Last but not least is that when you say you also didn't set a concrete goal weight, you decided to lose until you feel good. That is the ultimate prize. The feeling you have is absolutely immeasurable. And what I'll tell you is that feeling of pride, that feeling of joy, that feeling of success happens long before the scale validates it for you. I've said it, if you're on episode 37, you're hearing me probably right around now say something along the lines that you're already at goal. You're just waiting for the scale to catch up. And so that is that feeling of when I feel good, when I know I've got this, when I know I'm in control, when I know that I've completely changed my life, I'm at goal. And that means that I just continue going. And at some point, the scale will say, well, yeah, you're at goal. But the scale is the last person in your journey to know that you've had the success. The first person is you. And I believe you can get there. Not only do I believe you can get there, if you're not already, the Wise Wingman Facebook group, go to wisewingman.com. Join us in that group. There are about 4,000 of us there that also believe that you can do this. It's an amazing group of people. We laugh together, we cry together, and we celebrate together. And it's just a great group of folks to hang out with. So hopefully you'll join us in there as well. Keep up the amazing work. Kim is actually joining on Facebook as well, so which is also very cool as we do the live show to interact as well in real time. So thank you, Kim, again for being here. So, folks, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the Wise Advice Podcast link, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email them in at onair@fatdag.com. I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want you to share what you're doing. I don't want you to rely on this as your tool. What I want you to do is share your success, share your victories, share your challenges so that other people know they can do it too. That's what makes this community so successful. That's what makes this tool so successful. That's what makes people say, Fat Dag, I don't need you. I can do this on my own. But I want to stay here because I want to watch other people succeed. Watching other people succeed, having the same success that we have had is truly, truly motivating. So thank you for being here. But that is going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. And just like that, episode 202 is in the books. Now you just got to save it, splice it, add it, process it, send it to the server, upload it, download it. It's just that simple. Very fun. Jamie made it just in time for the end. That's usually how it works. Angie, great email tonight. Thanks for doing the show. You're absolutely welcome. I forgot. Oh my goodness, best news ever. Forgot to tell you. For those of you who are following along closely, you know that back in middle of March, my work schedule completely changed. In the middle of my workday, I added about an hour and a half commute twice a day. So almost 3 hours a day of driving time. And so it was a couple days a week. For the most part, my gym time turned into driving time. That pretty much has ended today. Today made an announcement that we ended up selecting an individual to take the position that I was filling in for. And so that person will take over. So I'll still be engaged by all means, but the 3 days a week, 3 hour commute is done. So now I get back to 3 days a week running instead of driving. So much needed break with that. So very cool. So yeah, Jamie, tonight it'll be on the app. You can have it in the app tonight. It'll take me, what time is it now? I don't even have a clue. It's 11 o'clock right now. Probably by midnight, it'll be in the app. So, but yeah, I know. So you guys are as excited for me as I am. Trust me. It was a great experiment, whatever that is. But man, it was just, I didn't adjust well. You know that, right? I did not adjust to that commuting and then losing my gym time 3 days a week. Certainly, it played some head games with me, and so it was just anyway. But we're good. We're rocking. So that's the deal there. So episode 202 in the books. That's very fun. Always appreciate you guys being here. Chris, I saw you pop in earlier. I'm going to share a quick little story. I had a member come in the night, Chris, and I shared your story specifically with them. I think there was a lot of similarities in your journey, and so they are now following you on Connect. No pressure, but they're now following you. So yep, very, very cool. Amy, yeah, it is a huge relief. It was crazy. Debbie says good night. NICU calls for tomorrow, hoping to get a 2 mile run in before work. Yeah, I got my 2 mile run in this morning. I checked my attendance goal block this morning. It was absolutely terrible run by my standards, by my performance standards, but it was an amazing run by the opportunity to say I back out and got the attendance piece done. Yes, Chris, you do need to get on Connect because I sent people directly, specifically to follow you. I can't share the details, but I said this guy is who you specifically need to keep your eye on. And so be that inspiration, man. You know you can do it. Anna, good night to you. Hopefully, 6 o'clock does come early. If I'm up tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, then I did something wrong. That is not my intent tomorrow morning to be awake at 6 a.m. I can assure you that. Funny little thing, right? So I ran into someone the other day. This was 6 o'clock in the evening. We're sitting there having a conversation at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I'm not making fun, right? So don't take it the wrong way, right? I just was like, at 6 o'clock in the evening, we're talking, and this person just goes, and then the person says to me, "Oh, I'm sorry. I've been up since 8." And I'm like, "You've been up since 8? Man, I wish I could sleep till 8." So yeah, tomorrow morning, hopefully, I'm not up at 6, but I don't know that 8's going to work for me either. But it just caught me off guard. Like, okay, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So very cool. Yeah, Chris is getting up at 3 a.m. Dude, Chris, don't call me at 3 a.m. No. I mean, hey, I'm your wingman. I will be there for you, whatever you need. Not at 3 a.m. You need to find something else between 3 and 7 a.m. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you that right now. Of course, you know the truth, right? If you truly need me, call me. I'll be there. But you know that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I want to get this published. I want to get up to bed. I want to get many things done. I really, now that my commute is over, I firmly believe that we're back to a consistent schedule on this because 3 days a week it tore me up, and so the 3 days a week I commuted were not the nights that I did my meeting. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was my commute, which made this whole thing difficult. So now my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are back to a little more freedom. So we'll see how it goes next week. We'll see if I can get back into the routine that we originally set for us. So with that, let's go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for being here. We'll get rid of Instagram. It's going to time out in a minute 45 anyway, so we'll shut Instagram off first. You guys know that. I always kick you out first. It's just how it is. And it's not really my fault. It's Instagram's fault. They only let me talk to you for an hour. They don't know how much we enjoy talking with each other. They think that after an hour you would be bored of me. I kind of agree with them, but so they only give me an hour to hang out with you. And so there's a minute 21 seconds left, but I'm going to go ahead and shut it off early. Oh, Amy, I didn't know it was your first time. So we always ring a bell when someone shows up for the very, very first time. So Amy, hopefully it was all that you asked for and more. Download the app. Go to the App Store, either Google App Store or your Apple App Store. Download the WhysAdvice app and get that and share it with somebody. So, Instagram, thank you. Good night. Wish you good focus. All right, Instagram's gone. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his tail. If he hollers, let him go. My mom said to pick the very best one, and you are not it. YouTube, good night. We'll say goodbye to you next. It's just the way it is. Facebook's my favorite. I'm not going to lie. The interface makes it easier for me to engage. So YouTube, thank you for being here. Have a great evening. I wish you great focus. You can do this. You know that. So good night.